You're about to see exactly how I got a real business owner $100,000 in funding completely live. Real client, real credit profile, real banks, and real approvals. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I analyzed their file, built the funding sequence, and stack approvals one by one until we hit $100,000 in funding, and I'm not hiding anything, including the denials. This is the exact process behind the $40 million we deployed through Waiters Capital, and by the end of this, you'll see precisely how a funding deal works from the moment a client comes into your pipeline all the way to the end of them walking out with $100,000 in funding for their business. Let's get into it. So before we get started on the funding sequence, I want to break down how we actually attracted this client or how we acquired this client when it comes down to it. So this is one strategy that I teach to my students in my academy. It's called the People of Influence strategy, as you can see here. With this strategy, we basically teach our students to go out and connect with individuals that have influence over people that can potentially be our clients. For this case specifically, we connected with business coaches. As you can see here, we do a lot of back-end fulfillment for business coaches, and this is one business coach specifically that we were able to connect with. This business coach teaches students how to invest into real estate. So he has a ton of students that are interested in getting into real estate, but they're lacking one thing, and that's capital. And that's where we come into play. So we actually offer back-end fulfillment for his program, people that want to invest into real estate, but also need capital to get the job done. So how I came about this first was I actually did a presentation for his community, showing them how 0% interest funding can help them increase their real estate portfolio without having to invest their own money. And that added value to his community right away. On top of that, we have a lead form in his community. So anybody that's interested in securing funding, they fill out a lead form. It's a qualifying form, basically, guys, where we get all their qualifications and know right away if they're qualified or not for funding. And then from there, they're able to book a call with our sales team, and we close them on a 10% contract, meaning we get 10% of the total amount funded when it comes down to it. So here's the actual data points on how we actually build out the credit profile and what this client actually has. So right here, I'm going to walk you through everything of my mindset of how I look at credit profiles. So like I mentioned, one thing you want to emphasize on to really know if you're going to be able to get somebody a good amount of funding is their comparables, right? So to make it very simple, one thing you guys can use to kind of judge how much you can get somebody, if somebody has, let's say, over $40,000, or not even 40, I would say if somebody has over $30,000 in overall credit availability or credit limits combined, you usually can get them roughly around $100,000 of funding on the business side when it comes down to it. But you want to make sure you emphasize and look at their comparables. Comparables are existing credit accounts that lenders base lending off of. You got to remember, in banking, nobody wants to be the first to lend to you because they want to reduce risk. So they want to see on your profile that you already have existing credit cards, or whatever you're applying for, you already have that product shown in your credit profile, and that you're handling it properly in order for them to feel comfortable lending to you or even lending more to you. So you want to make sure you understand that. On top of that, remember, we're going for business funding. So business funding is based off of your personal credit. So you want to have your personal credit in order, in addition to understanding that most business funding doesn't actually show on your credit profile. So when you are approved, you are leveraging your credit, you don't have to worry about it reflecting on your personal credit or impacting your credit when it comes down to it, right? But let's get back to the subject at hand. So like I said, we always want to emphasize comparables because this is going to tell us realistically how much funding we can get somebody. Understanding the location of the business and the client is going to be good as well, so we can figure out what banks we actually have access to. This client is located in Georgia, like I mentioned, and these were the comparables when we broke down of what this person actually had. So they had an Amex for $9,000, they had a Truist credit card for $12K, a Wells Fargo credit card for $6K, a Delta Community College or Community Credit Union auto loan for $30K that was paid off, and then an Upstart $10K personal loan as well that was about 90% paid off when it comes down to it. Another thing I want you guys to make sure you ask your clients is, are you a Navy Federal member, right? We understand Navy Federal is one of the best credit unions out there, but a lot of us leave money on the table because we're not asking this question, not knowing if somebody is a Navy Federal member, that's probably another $20K we can get them, which leads to $2K in commission. So this client actually wasn't a member, so we'll put no there. But what I actually want to emphasize and how we actually got them into Navy Federal was the second follow-up question you need to ask is, do they have anybody in their family that's already in Navy Federal or actually in the military, or does anybody that they live with actually in the military? And for this actual scenario, Sean's wife was actually married to somebody that was served in the military. So he was actually able to get into Navy Federal. So we turned this from somebody that was originally not able to get into Navy Federal into a yes, simply because his wife was actually a part of Navy, his wife was actually in the military and they lived together. And if you know that about Navy Federal, they will actually let you in if you live with somebody that's already a Navy Federal member, or you have somebody that's been in the military when it comes down to it. So now we know we can add Navy Federal to the funding sequence. Now when it comes to building the funding sequence, these are the things on how I actually pick and build a funding sequence that I want you guys to pay attention to. We always start with pre-approvals first, because with pre-approvals, we know right right away if somebody's approved or not without actually impacting their credit. So that's the safest way to be able to fund somebody, because you know right away if you're able to fund them or not, and if you're making money right away. Number two is going to be relationships. Relationships is very important when it comes to banking, especially on the credit card stacking route, because we more than likely can go back to banks that they already have relationships with and get more money if they have good relationships with them, because those banks already know, like, and trust them. Number three is going to be the heavy hitters. Your heavy hitters like a Chase, a Wells Fargo, a Truist, just depending on where you're at. Those are going to be heavy hitters that we always want to apply to, because we know that they'll give them big limits, which makes those big jumps when it comes down to getting people funding. It helps out with us making commission as well. And then last but not least, regional banks. A lot of people sleep on regional banks, but if you're actually funding, one thing I teach my reps and my students as well, if you come across clients in certain regions and you don't have relationships in those regions, definitely reach out to regional bankers, right? Because you never know what no-doc programs they have, what limits you can get somebody, and that may be one of those hidden banks that a lot of people don't talk about online, but you have in your Rolodex that you can run your clients through if you have clients that fall through. So now we're going to build the funding sequence from A to Z and then go run the actual funding sequence as well. Now, this is what you guys have been waiting for. Let's get down to business. I built the funding sequence out, went through my mindset and concept of how to build it and how you guys can replicate it, and then we're going to walk through the approvals and what actually came about for the total amount funded for this guy, right? So we started off with pre-approvals. As you can see, pre-approvals is always low-hanging fruit, so we always want to start there. He had a relationship already with American Express, so that we knew that we can apply on the business side and there wouldn't be any inquiries on his profile. We went ahead and applied for the Blue Business Plus and Blue Business Cash and got him a 10K limit and a 12K limit, right? So we got already out the gate $22,000 from American Express, which led to $2,200 in commission, right? Then we went to MyGM. A lot of you guys, old school funders, you probably know about MyGM. They're actually back, but they're now with Barclays and they're not doing a pre-approval. We went through a pre-approval and got him 15K off of Barclays from MyGM, which was surprising because Barclays is usually very reserved when it comes down to it if you don't have a relationship with them. We tried to be creative and we went to Citizens. We did a foreign filing to put him in the same state as our bank rep. He still ended up getting denied just for, I would think, time in business or time in that state or whatever the denial reason was. So that ended up being a denial right there. Then we went to existing relationships like I show you guys here. With existing relationships, we went to Truist. We knew we were going to get him approved at Truist for $21,000, as you can see here. Then we went to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of times, sometimes getting approved for the business line of credit is easier than getting approved for the business credit card with Wells Fargo. So he was initially denied for the business credit card because of the relationship. Usually they want you to have a 60 to 90 day relationship before they actually approve you for the card. But he was actually approved for a 15K business line of credit. Took about, I want to say, almost 30 days to get that approval back, but he was approved for 15K on the line of credit on the business side with no docs, guys. So that's a game changer. Then we went to Delta Community. Remember, he had a relationship with Delta Community. So we went there. They ended up giving him a 13K approval. Then we went to the heavy hitters. For heavy hitters, Chase always going to be a hitter. We actually applied for 40K. Chase actually countered and gave him 35K. We're still happy with that. And then we went to Navy Federal. Remember, if I didn't ask him if he was a member of Navy Federal, this would have been money we would have left on the table. So we went ahead and got him into Navy Federal. As soon as we got him in, we went ahead and applied and got him a 10K limit right out the back. I was a little disappointed. I thought we was going to get him a 20K approval, but hey, we'll take it. At 10K approval, we got 1K in commission, which is great. And we went to Lightstream, which was the most surprising to me. I thought since he had existing auto loan history, we would go to Lightstream and he would get approved. We actually got denied from Lightstream. We're going to do this in real time for you guys, right? It brought out $131,000 in funding, guys. Let's go. So with $131,000 in funding, right? 131K in funding for him, that gave us over $13,000 in commission, right? Literally off of this one client alone, which is a game changer. And this is why this business model is one of the best business models out there. And one thing I want to talk about as well before we wrap up is, remember I said this guy came from the real estate industry. So some of you in real estate may be like, well, how can I use credit cards? Credit cards don't help me. I need cold hard cash to go into a deal, right? We have a liquidation partner that we actually run out of our clients through with real estate investors. So when they actually get approved for these 0% interest products, they're able to go then liquidate the money off of these cards and being able to invest into real estate. And while that money is working for them, they're literally paying 1%. They're paying the minimum each month while that money is out working for them, because this is 0% interest money. So this is game changer. This is something that you guys can execute on very at a high level. And I appreciate you guys. And that is exactly what a real funding deal looks like from start to finish. But here's the thing. This case study is just one piece of the puzzle. You just watch me execute the funding sequence, but you have no idea yet how to get clients like this into your pipeline, how to close them on a 10% contract, or how to build the infrastructure that makes all of this repeatable. Click this video if you want the full picture. I put together a step-by-step breakdown of how to build your own funding business from scratch, covering everything I did not show you here. And if you want me building this with you personally, click the first link in the description to apply for our academy.